Hello students, happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, so that means the first virtual week is almost done. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to be working on value. So if you remember, value was actually an element of art that we were working on the last time we saw each other. So today we are going to be working on how to use value to make a sphere. I know a lot of you had questions when we were in class on making a sphere and different values and highlights and darkness that you add to a shape to make it 3D and a form. So we're going to be working on that today. So just keep on watching and we're going to figure out together how to do that.
If you see my paper here, you are going to see how the final product is going to look like. Okay, but first let's go on to materials. Materials you're going to use is a writing utensil. You could use a pencil or lead pencil, and I have a piece of toilet paper here to smooth out the shading that I'm going to do, and a mason jar to use to make the circle for our sphere. Okay, so here I am going to make a rectangle on the bottom, and I'm going to make sure that there are 5 boxes on it. So then I'm going to label them 1 through 5, and this is going to help us make our sphere. The number 1 box is going to be left just as it is, blank, because it's going to be the highlight of the sphere. Number 2 is going to be slightly darker, and here I am going to shade it in. Number 3 is going to be even darker. And as you get to box 4 and 5, you are going to add more pressure with your pencil. Remember to have box number 5 as the darkest and box number 1 as the lightest, as a highlight. So it's going to create a gradient from light to dark. So what you can do is use your tissue paper to soften the colors or the shading and make them softer so they can look like they're blended in to one another. And you can use your eraser to go around the rectangle if you have to erase some of the marks that were created as you're working. You can also use your eraser to erase some of the areas if you made your boxes too dark. So here I am using my mason jar to trace the circle for my sphere. And as you can see on the corner, I drew a little sun with a cute little face to represent light. So this is going to help me figure out where the highlights and where the shades are going to go on my sphere, depending on where the light is coming. So as you can see, I labeled each section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I am going to use those areas to help me figure out how I'm going to shade those areas in and how light or dark they will be. So if you saw, I included number 1 on the very top because it's where light is hitting first, and it's covered right now because I shaded in the number 2, but we're gonna go back to that spot later on. So what you're going to keep doing is filling in those spots according to the boxes and the number you added in that area. And keep using your tissue paper or your toilet paper to shade in your sphere. Remember that you do not want all the areas to look like it's the same shade. They should get darker as it gets closer to the shadow, which is number 5. Keep on using your tissue paper to make it softer and softer, and keep going over with your pencil with different pressures to make it darker on the bottom. Use your tissue paper to smooth out all over your sphere. Remember that if you need to use your eraser to go around the outline like I am here, then do that to clean up the messes that you have been creating. Keep shading in and keep softening those shadows. Now that I am almost done with my sphere, I'm going to go over to the number 5 area, and I am going to shade it in as the darkest shade. So it's going to be my shadow of my sphere. So I'm going to add pressure and go around with my tissue paper or toilet paper and blend in that shadow. So now I'm going to go back up to number 1 area and I'm going to erase, because remember that area is the lightest because it is the place that the light is directly hitting on the sphere. So I'm going to blend it in, keep working on my shadow, and I could go over my paper with my eraser and I am done. Beautiful. This is what your final product should look like. Please send me your photos on what your final product looks like. I want to see the finished product of your sphere. Send it on to my email that will be at the end of this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.